application entire file system in release 12.2.x. So now we understood the Oracle Homes architecture in release 12.2. So I thought we'll drill down a little bit more and understand the file system. So in terms of the file system, you have got majorly three top directories. One includes INST, second EBS apps, and FMW home. This lies under the directory in which you install the entire eBusiness Suite 12.2. Usually this directory, I use it as U01 for installation, and within that you will find all this. Now basically the INST directory is also called as instance home, and it basically denotes what you called as $INST top. Using this INST top or instance home, it helps to provide an ability to share the application and technology code among multiple instances. As an example of a test instance or a UAT instance or a development instance. And within INST directory, you have got so many different directories out here. Now we'll actually not go into the details of all this, but that's how it looks like. But if we go into Oracle applications, let me just show you how we have done it in terms of our release 12.2 environment. So what I'm going to do it is, at this point I will minimize this. So while the instance is getting started, I would like to add one more thing is so far we understood the file structure, but one key difference that I've told you previously in 12.2 is online patching system. So how does it work is basically this entire structure that you see out here is cloned, okay, into two file structures, and one of them is called as usually called as FS1, and the second one is called as FS2. And so how it works is the live instance in which the users are working is called as a run environment, on which behind the screens it will be running on, say, FS1. Okay, now for the hot patch that you have got to apply while the users are working, you go and apply it in the clone directory structure, which is called as FS2. Okay, so you apply it there, and then you later synchronize it with FS1 directory structure. But behind the scenes this is happening, and users would be unaware what's happening in the background, and none of the users in the production system will be affected at all by this kind of system. So the whole idea of explaining you is, again, this directory structure, what I'm going to show you in the server in terms of INST or EBS apps or FMW home, these are all two directory structures out there, like clone of each other, which helps in the hot patching of the new patches in release 12.2. So that's a new feature in 12.2 and a key differentiator in terms of other release 12.x, the previous ones which were released. So let's now go into the server and understand this file system where INST would be lying. So as I've explained you will have two file systems. One is FS1, in which you will have INST and these directories. Then you will have FS2 as another file system wherein you will have a clone of these structures. Okay, the one is used for running the live environment, the second is used for applying the patches while users are on in the live environment. Okay, so I have already started release 12.2 instance now, and what I'm going to do it is I will go in traditional like Windows environment, although it is Linux environment, but people find it easier to browse like this. So I will go to the file system, and we have installed the entire 12.2.2 in U01, and within that you go to Oracle directory. So as I've explained you out here, the top directory, the base structure out there is U01. Okay, then you go inside, and within that you will find, as I said, FS1 and FS2. Here you will also find something called as FSNE. The NE stands for non-edition. Basically it's a non-edition file system. The FS stands for file system, and it is used to store the files containing the data that is needed across all the file systems. So more about that I'm going to explain you later as we are doing the hot patching, and that's where I will explain you the importance of having fs_ne file system. Anyway, so now before we go into FS1 or FS2, what we will do, we'll start a new terminal session, and you've got to find out that which is our run environment and which is our patching environment in this instance in terms of 12.1.2. So all you've got to do it is run a script for that, and which is this one. Now before you do that, in fact I have already run it, this in Applevis users. Applevis user is the one which we have used to associate with the application tire, and the application tire services starts with Applevis user. I'm going to explain you all this as we will be installing release 12.2.2 instance later on. Okay, so don't worry about that now, but with an exception of this script. So basically this script, when you run it in application tire, it provides you information as to which is your run file system. Run file system, as I said, is the one which is a live system wherein users may be using it, and patch file system is the one that you use it in the background for browsing or applying your patches. Okay, so when you run this script, it basically shows you the run file system, the patch file system, the non-edition file system, and other details. So the idea of telling you is that if you see this FS1 and FS2 clearly shows here. So let's go into run file system, which is live and running, and see how inst top is there. So I go into FS1, and within that you can see inst, and then you've got a directory called as apps. Although it is not shown over here, there is one directory out here called as apps. Okay, and within that you will find the context, and then you will have all the directories that I have shown out here. So you have admin, Apple, and Apple temp, logs, and so on. Fine. Now having understood that, I will close this and I will show you the same structure you will find in FS2 as well. Okay, so that was FS1, the run environment, and now if we go into the patch file system, which is FS2, you will find the same structure. Did you see that? And within that, if you go here, you'll find the same file structure. So basically they are one and the same and helps to apply the online hot patching. So let's go back further and understand what's next. So that was the inst top. Then you've got the second top directory called as EBS apps. So what really happens in EBS apps? Basically the EBS apps contains your Oracle home in application tire. So Oracle home 1 in application tire, which is associated with 10.1.2 application server. Okay, and as I've explained you previously, the 10.1.3 Oracle home has been replaced with a Oracle home lying under Fusion middleware directory. Okay, but it still contains the Apple top and common top, which is associated with these directories. So if we go back in the server, we can see this directory structure. So let's minimize this and go back in the server, and I'll close all this. Okay, if you go back in FS1, which is the run environment, I click on that one and we see EBS apps, and within that you can see the same structure. You have 10.1.2 application server, you have got your Apple top and common top, and you can go in each of them to see the bigger directory structure. Okay, then the third one, which is most important as far as release 12.2.2 is concerned, is what you call as Fusion middleware home. So this is another key top level directory which is added in release 12.2, and it's completely new. And as I said, the 10.1.3 application server directory has now been replaced with WebLogic server home out here within Fusion middleware home. You will find it. So let's understand how it is. So in this directory structure within Fusion Middleware Home, the key directories are like WL Server 10.3, which contains all the binaries and libraries required to support Oracle WebLogic Server. Okay. Then the WebTire server is nothing but your HTTP server. It contains the HTTP server instance used by eBusiness Suite. So all the HTTP specific configuration and log files are stored over here. Then you've got something called as Oracle Common. So this is also another important directory which contains all the Java file or JRFs which is used by Oracle eBusiness Suite. Now let's now go into the server and see how this directory structure really looks like. Since the space was little short out here, so I have not included every sub-level directory out here. So what you would see is the main structure. So in the server we can get the real picture. So I'll minimize this and I'll go in the server. Okay, close these ones. And this time we will go in FMW home. Okay, so click on that one. And within that, as I have said, you've got directories such as WebTire, WL Server, and as you could see out here, you've got a JRotkit directory, you've got Oracle Common. What I have not covered was something called as Oracle EBS Apps1 directory. So basically, Oracle eBusiness Suite is deployed as an Oracle Home under Fusion Middleware Server. As I've explained you, this directory contains all the configuration files related to OA Core, Forms, OAFM, and Forms C4WS related processes and utilities. So that's what is the importance of this. Now, what will happen is going forward when we install while running the services, I'm going to explain you a little more about the Fusion Middleware Home, how you go about running the services, starting the node manager for WebLogic server, the WebLogic admin server itself, and so on. That's where we'll come back and visit this one. So let's go back in to our presentation and see what's next. So I think that's pretty much most of the directory structure. Now what I really want to do it is I want to go back and explain you a couple of more concepts as far as this directory is concerned. So I'll just go back in this. So here you will find something called as a common top and Apple top. And common top, just like in release 12.1.x, is a directory which contains the files used by many different Oracle eBusiness Suite products and which may also be used with third-party products. Especially here you've got something called as an admin directory. So what's an admin directory? The admin directory under this common top is the default location for the concurrent manager log and output directories. So what happens is when the concurrent manager is run, it generates the output and log files, and they actually get stored in this admin. So sometimes if the concurrent manager goes wrong, then it generates a huge error file. And that's where in real environment, if you are a developer or if you are a user of Oracle applications, then you go to the database administrators and you basically ask them to get you the log file. And they will simply go to Oracle application server, type in the application tire and type $common top /admin and /log, and that will basically take them to this path out here, and then within that you've got log and output directories. That's where they will fetch the log file from the log directory. The second important directory out here is the Java directory. Now in terms of the environment variable in the server, this directory is also called as $Java_top. Okay, now as I said, this directory is called as common_top. This directory is called as Java_top. So what does it really contains? Basically the rapid install wizard that you use while installing Oracle applications. It places all the eBusiness Suite class files in the common top /Java or Java top directory. Within that it's got another directory called as classes directory, and it places the class files in that classes directory. Okay, so that's one use of this directory structure. And apart from the classes directory within this Java directory, you've got other directory called as lib directory, in which the zip and jar files are installed. Okay, and look, I've been calling this as Java top, just that I'm used to the top kind of terminology, but in actual terms, the actual environment variable is $java_base. Okay, so what I'm going to do at this point of time is I will simply minimize this. We'll go into Oracle application and see what happens when we type the Java base. Okay, so we will go to the Applebee's user. Okay, here I say cd $java_, or instead of that cd we say echo $java_base and see what comes up. Look at that. So that's what I told you. So within that common directory structure and then Java, that's what is Java base. And if I say echo $common_top /admin, then what comes up? Look at that. That's what is the directory it comes up. Since we are in the run environment, it is fs1. Okay, then within this directory structure you will have log and output. So if I say cd $, let's copy this instead of typing, save some time, and then $2, and within that if I say ls, you have log and output file directories, which contains the content program, output and log files. So let's go back in our presentation to understand what else is out here. And the other one that you have out here is Apple top. Okay, so just like common directory, the environment variable associated with COMN directory is common_top. For APPL directory, the environment variable associated is Apple_top. And what happens within this one is basically the Apple top directory structure, this whole directory structure contains the core technology files and directories, which is installed by rapid install while you're installing eBusiness 12.2.2. It also contains all the product files and associated directories. And this structure doesn't change in terms of what you had in release 12.1.x in terms of Apple top and common top. It's pretty much the same structure. Okay, and the other thing you've got to remember that Oracle eBusiness Suite install all the products in this regardless of whether a client is licensed or not. So the license feature is determined from the front end, but from the back end, the entire product suite for eBusiness Suite is installed within the Apple directory structure, which is associated with the environment variable Apple top. In addition to that, Apple top also contains the environment file for setting the environment for application tier. So what I'm going to do at this point of time is I will minimize this and we'll go in the Oracle server and see how it looks like. Okay, so here I was, and here let's just type echo $Apple_top. Okay, so look at this. That's the file structure that I've shown you under EBS apps Apple. And let's change now the directory structure. Okay, and then list them all the directories, and as I said, it now contains the environment file for setting up the application environment. So you've got two environment files out here. So when you actually start your application tier, you actually go and run this environment file first to set up your environment, and then one by one you start all the services using the scripts provided by Oracle. So I have done it over here, so I will show you how I have done it. So as you would see, the first thing I've done it is I've logged in as the Applebee's user, which is associated with the application tier, and then I have gone and set up the environment using this environment file, and that's what is lying out here in this directory, Apple top directory, this one. Okay, so that's the key directories in terms of release 12.2.2. These are pretty much same. These directories are pretty much same as 12.1, but what's the differentiator is Fusion Middleware Home, which contains an additional Oracle Home and the web logic server related directory structure.